Hey guys, ran a video out of nowhere. My name is Lemon. I am a nobody. I've just done a lot of research since about February 10th on the coronavirus quotation marks. Now, people are insane, would be a word to describe it. Um, as a fellow person, yes, we must stay skeptical on a lot of these, stories that are coming out and where we're sourcing things from is a major thing that we actually got to be looking at now. There's these people out there, for instance, my mother, who only sources her news from Facebook, and if you just believe straight out, the stuff on Facebook, it's all opinions. None of it's coming out from actual people. There's a video out from the Vodafone chief executive business person, ex-business person, and it's just insane. It's just yeah, this shit causes COVID-19. It's the 5G towers. I can't believe all this stuff. It's actually ridiculous what people are believing. Now look, today I just want to have a quick discussion on this. I've never done this before, so welcome, people. I just want to talk about DNA sequencing today. Now, I've been running through and trying to understand the basics of DNA sequencing when it comes to learning about all this different stuff. And it's insane. You got to realize the beginning of this, before even it was a problem in Italy, it was solely concentrated in China. The virus was scary as hell. And I've seen the DNA sequences. There was a leak from the NHS, National Health Service, and it was the original two DNA sequences, one in China and the other one in the US. And within one transfer of person to person, it mutated. It went up the DNA sequence tree and jumped in two different directions. And what people aren't understanding about this whole thing and the seriousness of it, if we start going out and believing it's okay to infect everyone with this virus now so we get immunity to it, people just don't understand how mutative this virus is in the first place. It's ridiculously mutative. At the moment, there's roughly about 230 different major DNA sequences of what we call SARS-CoV-2 right here. And the problem with that is, as it goes along, it starts to pick up traits. And some can be traits good for us. Good being that it becomes less aggressive, meaning it reproduces less. It does less damage to the respiratory system, or it just doesn't spread as much. But the problem is that people don't understand. If we're fit and we're healthy and we're still putting ourselves out there and having, getting in risk of getting in contact with all these people, and we are asymptomatic, we don't know we've caught it, but we're perfectly healthy, it's not going to affect me. But maybe it's going to affect me in 3 months' time. You don't know that. It reoccurs. It comes back. In some patients, after recovery, it comes back. Now, this is the problem that people don't understand, is once it comes back, it's learnt your DNA. It mutates to you. The virus mutates to your DNA, either making it weaker or stronger. And if you spread on that virus as someone with a high immune system, this could get a lot worse than it actually is now, because there's no definitive SARS-CoV-2 right now. There's no one major strain going around. It's multiple hundreds of strains. And if we let this go rampant and expose everyone to it, then we're just going to fast track our way to the fucking, like, to hell. Like, this thing's just gonna go wild. And like, today I want people to understand, stop looking at dumb sources. 5G's a distraction. It's it's just propaganda. There's so much propaganda out there right now, especially with the corona, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, whatever you want to call it, virus. Personally, it's just a massive distraction from actually what's going on, and we just need to follow what's been given to us. Now, like, just simple Google searches, like, you know, COVID-19 DNA sequencing. Like, you can find out so much about it. You can watch videos on it. YouTube is a great source of finding like actual doctors that have gone through it. Like, there's a doctor right now who's caught it and is giving his details on it. Boris Johnson only a few days ago has gone into ICU. Fucking so much crap is out there. So much content is out there for us to like learn off. I've been following this crazily for the last few months to the point where like I lost my mind and I couldn't sleep for 2 3 days in a row. I just I just had so much coffee and I went in depth and I actually started learning about like respirators and the size of the particles that we admit when we are asymptomatic of this virus, when we're coughing and stuff. Like, learning all these niche little things and learning about protection, like what gear actually stops it. The problem with like a lot of face masks that we're giving away to our doctors, and all it prevents is particles from our doctors spitting out onto patients that are already infected. The problem is that these things don't really prevent doctors from catching this. We need to give them proper full respiratory gear, like proper full face mask, enclosed respiratory gear, P3 preferably. P3, so there's 3 different particle filters. 1, 2, 3, P1, P2, P3, and this is an Australian measurement. P3 filters up to 0.1 microns. 0.1 microns is the smallest that a COVID-19 cell has been determined to be, but they can vary in size. Now we gotta understand, like, we're not prepared at all. And if you've actually been trying to buy these like really expensive respirators, you've noticed that like companies like Draeger, for instance, or Tricam have actually stopped. They stopped selling to the public. They only make for private medical industries now. Like, it's insane what's happening right now. And if you don't really know what's happening, look into it. Don't listen to just like random opinionated things. Tell them to show you facts. Now the problem is not many people are giving facts. They're just seeing some random Facebook post that links to an opinion piece from a major news article. It's not gonna do anything. Actually go to like science websites. Actually go to like a national national infectious and disease control website and read through the summaries that they provide. This is how I found out a lot of my information. And if you're not doing this, then like, you might be a spreader of misinformation and you might not know it, because a lot of these people like the Guardian, Wired, the Conservative, the journalists, not saying they're all bad, but like, we gotta understand that these people create opinion pieces linking to articles that are the true summary of what's actually happening. Thanks for listening.